Our next guest knows what it is to make choices out of many things life throws you. Rivers TESKE had the amazing clothing company that brought you sparkly jackets, ribbon jackets, pearled sneakers, long before they came sneakers. But Rivers TESKE, welcome to 100 Huntley Street.
Thank you, Lorna.
Aside from the glittery clothing line that you were so well known for, the big decision comes when your daughter comes home at age 18 and says, "Mom, I'm pregnant."
Right.
Tell us about what
That was a challenge.
Yeah, what
It was a challenge as a mother, and actually, she had gone to her high school first, to say goodbye to her brother and sister. So Paul was a Navy chaplain, and suicide, when you get these little red flags, you know, in life, so her story was that she said goodbye to her brother and sister, and then that really panicked us. And we went to find her, found her at an airport. She was going back to face her boyfriend at the time, and he said to get an abortion, and that he wanted nothing to do with the pregnancy. So
just a second, you had that mother alarm go off.
Yeah.
You didn't know she was pregnant, but you thought something must be wrong. She could even be acting suicidal,
Right.
because she's saying goodbye to her siblings.
Mm-hmm.
You found her.
We found her. We found her in the airport. It was probably one of the most beautiful scenes of, I think, a father loving his daughter. I just happened to run down. We were running through the airport, trying to find her, and there, at the end, at the gate, there she was in her father's arms. And I was like, oh, what a picture. What in the world is going on? And she told us, and we said, okay, we're going to deal with this.
She said, "I'm pregnant."
She said, "I'm pregnant." And my husband is so strong. And
Because we sometimes put people who are pastors, as your husband, Paul, and yourself were, we put you on a pedestal and think everything's going to be just fine in your family, and then you have to figure out, oh my goodness, how do we unpack this very personal situation in such a public life that we lead? What did you do next?
Well, it is a challenge as a pastorate couple. And we, like you said, we felt like, I felt like growing up that everything was going to be perfect. And here I was with my first daughter and having to face this. And I think the lioness just rose up inside of me. And we said, we are family, and we are going to cover her with love and cover this whole situation. Our church was phenomenal.
Why were you so sure that God did not want you to get an abortion for her?
Because we believe in life. I don't think we don't even believe that ants, I think, probably should be stepped on. I think everything was created by God for life. And I want to make abortion unthinkable, only because our grandson has brought us unbelievable joy in 21 years. And so I've watched him. We've poured life into him on mission trips, and I just believe that God has created life, all life, from conception until death.
And how did you walk a very frightened Tara through that? You're 18 years. It's one thing for you to believe it, but here's your daughter, her boyfriend, all of the ripple effect. How did you walk a girl actually carrying the pregnancy? Her life forever changed through that confidence in God.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say I was confident at first. I was afraid. I was afraid, and I think that was my fear. I was struggling with it inside, but I had to be so strong for her. And she was afraid, and the boyfriend was not in her life. We found a maternity home in Texas and resources that could help her make a decision either to place the baby in adoption or to bring that baby home and live with us, and to see what we could do. So after she had the baby at the maternity home, they lived with us for 5 years, and she needed help. She needed our support. So I believe that grandparents and parents, it's family, right? Because at the end, there's very few people at the grave besides family. So we believe in family. And we found resources, physicians that would help, maternity homes. I went out and found all kinds of education situations for her.
How does God grow young Tyler's crisis life into a bigger idea for you?
Well, it was surprising. I was vacuuming one day. Actually, it's a very fun little story about God, because he's going to use anything he can use to get your attention. So I was vacuuming one day and crying out to him, when are you going to use me? I thought it would be Africa, you know, with the widows and the orphans.
You had this vision for, because
Yes.
I should back up, you served as a Navy chaplain couple.
Yes.
And here you are as Paul's chaplain wife,
Yes.
plugged into all these global
Mother
situations.
Teresa's organization in Tokyo. I mean, so I knew what poverty was on the street. I knew what fatherlessness did to the children. So I was crying out to God for this little boy. And when was he going to use me? When was God going to use me? And audible voice, Rivers, audible from God. Rivers, you have a widow and an orphan in your own home. I was stunned, and I turned off that vacuum cleaner, and I went, oh my goodness, exactly.
20-year-old daughter.
Now my daughter's 20, and I have this about a 2-year-old little grandson, and that's how we started Hidden Choices, to help single mothers with education and grants from colleges. I called up every single maternity home I could find. I vetted them, and that's how I started my website. And actually, you know, I'm a defender of life. That's what I am.
So for the woman watching, for the woman who says, I am heading into an unmanageable situation with this pregnancy, what would you say to her?
Well, the motto in our home is anything this side of the grave is manageable. Is that a good one? And, you know, it's only a call away, or one person away that can make a difference in their lives. And that's why crisis pregnancy centers are they're critical right now for young women that are experiencing unplanned pregnancy.
Yeah, we've got to.
Right?
I know it. I mean, I was born into a crisis pregnancy center myself. I help out at a crisis pregnancy center. There are helping people. There are, absolutely. But it's scary to get that linkage.
Yes.
And what in the character of God ensures it is going to be made for you? Hang in there. It's coming.
Because in Psalm 68:5, it says that he takes us and he comforts us and he cares and he defends those that he brings life to. And so I really ask people to seek the Lord and get help, because it's so important if you have a support system to walk beside. I don't know what my daughter would have done without my husband and I, but we're strong. And it's the grandparents and the parents and that small cadre of people that are safe and that love you that can get this person, this young woman or man, through any crisis, right?
Rivers TESKE, thank you for reminding us that with God, all things are possible. And thank you for being that small group of people around your daughter when she needed it.